You are the one and only Supreme Emperor in this entire world. But as you got older, the people closest to you started bailing, like one by one. Word got out that you were about to drop dead. Even the people you'd protected for thousands of years just ran. Countless near-Emperor powerhouses came out of hiding, all gunning to take down the Emperor who dominated for ages and snatch his divine legacy. Everyone knew you were on your way out, so they all started looking for their next move. And in the end, the only one left by your side was a little palace maid. "My lord, you're awake." The maid walked over carrying a bowl of medicine, looking genuinely surprised. "Xiaozhou, what's going on out there?" you asked softly. You didn't have much time left, but you still looked like a 30-year-old. Same as always. Xiaozhou hesitated. "Your Majesty, the capital is a total mess. Rumors are flying everywhere. They're saying a whole army of near-emperors is coming to take you out. The first prince left with 100,000 imperial guards. The second prince took off with the Confucian 100 sages statues. The third prince cleared out the royal treasury library. The empress took all the concubines and left, said they didn't want to disturb your rest." You let out a cold laugh. Wow, they sure didn't waste any time, did they? Xiaozhou kept her head down, too scared to say a word. "So this whole massive palace, there's nobody left?" "Yes, my lord, it's just you and me now." Xiaozhou nodded. You almost had to laugh. The most powerful emperor in the world, at the end of his life, and a regular girl with zero cultivation, left to depend on each other in the palace that was supposed to be the center of the universe. "Come take a walk with me through the capital." You said it calmly. You just transmigrated into this mess, but you weren't losing your cool. You wanted to size up this world. And the enemies headed your way. Emperor Jufeng. "Why not?" you asked, genuinely confused. "There's a divine suppression array beneath the palace that you set up yourself. It can hold back near emperors. We're safe inside," Xiaozhou said. You quickly pulled up the memory. 100 years ago, Emperor Jufeng already knew his end was coming, so he gathered treasures from across the world and laid down a massive emperor-grade formation beneath the palace. Incredibly powerful. You stepped forward. "Then just walk around the palace with me." "Sure, as long as we stay inside the palace, we're good." Xiaozhou nodded quickly. The girl had zero cultivation, but she knew the deal. Inside the palace meant total safety. Several near-emperors had already entered the capital, and not a single one dared step foot inside the palace. You walked ahead and Xiaozhou followed close behind, watching your every step, terrified you'd suddenly collapse. A few months ago, you did exactly that. Passed out cold for a long time, and that's what sent shockwaves across the whole world. Right now, across the entire capital, countless auras were locked onto the palace, like predators waiting for the kill. "Lots of rats watching us." Xiaozhou went pale. She quietly grabbed the corner of your robe. "I've been terrified of rats my whole life." You laughed and reached out to ruffle her hair. "Relax, they're just rats, you just squash them." Meanwhile, inside a mansion somewhere in the capital, a voice rang out. That monster Emperor Jufeng is finally going to die. An old man who'd been sealed inside a divine relic opened his eyes. Someone asked excitedly, "Ancestor, is Emperor Jufeng actually done for this time?" The palace is completely empty. His sons, daughters, concubines, they all ditched him. Everyone in the know is saying it. For real this time. The Supreme Emperor is going to die. A middle-aged man in a python robe nearly lost it. "He's finally dying." The old man inside the divine relic let out a sound somewhere between laughter and tears. Only someone like him, someone who'd voluntarily sealed himself away, truly understood how terrifyingly dominant Emperor Jufeng had been. Unbeatable. Unmatched. Even near emperors, once they stepped into the capital and faced him head-on, would have their mental foundations completely shattered. It scared the living daylights out of every powerful figure back then. One by one, they sealed themselves inside divine relics, buried underground, locked in coffins, all just to sit out Emperor Jufeng's era. 18,000 years. He was unbeatable for 18,000 years. Do you know how many lifetimes that swallowed up? As long as he's alive, the rest of us don't stand a chance. Emperor Jufeng deserves to die. The divine relic cracked and split open. Out walked an old man who looked absolutely unhinged, white hair everywhere, face twisted, eyes burning with years of pent-up excitement. "I'm going to grab Emperor Jufeng's treasures. The undying nine-jointed root, the supreme divine medicine, the enlightenment tea tree, the forbidden art 9-emperor technique. All game-breaking loot. I'm taking every single piece. Storm the palace and grab those 3 supreme treasures." A subordinate ran over right away. "Ancestor, Emperor Jufeng is up. He's walking around inside the palace." But there's a divine formation beneath the palace. So what if he's up? He's running on empty. Final stage of his life. His emperor's aura is completely gone. You think he can still power that formation? I unsealed myself for one reason. To step on Jufeng and become the next great emperor. Our Gile demon sect will dominate this era. The unsealed elder said coldly. Thousands of years of rage. Thousands of years of pressure. Standing before an emperor who'd hit his absolute limit, he wasn't scared one bit. Meanwhile, back in the palace, you walked with steady, calm steps, just getting a feel for this body. Emperor Jufeng was riddled with hidden internal injuries. If they flared up, it'd be lights out. His power was nowhere near its peak, no question about it. But you didn't complain. You were working on making everything about Jufeng's past your own. But of course, some uninvited guests just had to show up. Inside the capital, dark demonic energy surged for thousands of miles. You noticed it. Xiaozhou noticed it too. The energy twisted and shifted, like demons, like vengeful spirits, building something straight out of hell. Terrifying. Xiaozhou grabbed your robe tight and said nervously, "My lord, let's go back. It's really dangerous out there, with zero cultivation." Just sensing this was overwhelming for her. This was a near emperor's pressure. If you weren't standing in front of her, it'd be way worse. You said calmly, "You head back first. Go back to your chambers." Xiaoyu froze. She said anxiously, "My lord, aren't you going back?" You shook your head and smirked. "The rats showed up. Someone's got to take care of them for you." Xiaoyu didn't budge. She held onto your robe and said firmly, "My lord, right now it's just the two of us in this whole palace. If you're not leaving, neither am I." You smiled and gave her arm a gentle pat. "All right then, stay. Everyone's saying I'm done for. Even my own family walked out, but this little fool right here stayed. Don't worry, keeping you safe is something I can still handle just fine." A smile spread across Xiaozhou's face as she watched your back. A little thinner, maybe, but to her, you were still the greatest emperor in the world. What a wholesome little master and servant moment. Never thought the guy who dominated the world for 18,000 years would go soft for a little maid in his old age. Talk about robbing the cradle. A cold, mocking voice echoed across the palace. Xiaozhou turned beet red and looked around furiously. She didn't care about herself. But nobody gets to trash the emperor's reputation. You, on the other hand, didn't even bother to look up. You've been playing rat for so long you don't even have the guts to show your face in front of me. Emperor Jufeng, still the same arrogant self, acting like you run everything. Too bad times have changed. You're not at your peak anymore. That confidence, you got nothing to back it up with. The elder from the Giles demon sect appeared at the palace gates, black hair pinned up. Old, sure, but still riding the tail end of his prime. Once the sect's greatest genius, called the hope of the demon sect. Sadly, he stayed just that, a hope. You gave him a glance and calmly pulled up the memory. 8,000 years ago, this man was in his prime, hit near emperor level at just 800 years old, hailed as the demon sect's future great emperor. Then he sealed himself away in a divine relic, and only now had come back out. Emperor Jufeng, I sealed myself away for 8,000 years just for this moment. Today I'm going to slaughter you and use your imperial blood to forge my own path to becoming emperor, the Giles demon elder said coldly, his aura absolutely insane, shooting straight into the sky, churning the clouds, layers rolling over each other. Terrifying. The near emperor's pressure flooded the whole capital, making anyone weaker than him feel like they couldn't breathe. To you, it was nothing. It couldn't even get close to you. And you think that's enough to kill me? I know you're something else, but I'm not the only one after what you've got. The Giles elder's expression stayed cold and sharp. He talked big, but he was on high alert, because the man standing in front of him had crushed an entire era for 18,000 years. The near emperor elder walked into the palace with his aura blazing, drawing the eyes of the whole capital. Thousands watched from a distance, buzzing with non-stop chatter. And then, the very next second, a big muscular young man appeared inside the palace, pure arrogance written all over his face. "Screw Emperor Jufeng, that guy's all hype and no substance. The future belongs to us, the new generation. You and your